Yo, what's good? Next to Amolytics. Happy Wednesday today, the 20th. Give a little recap of yesterday. I didn't post on here, but I did post on my IG. Went 4 for 5 on the top five. Ketel Marte ended up selling that at the end of the night. And then went six for 10 on the top 10 for hits wise. Home run wise, we did not hit any in the top three. Carroll did hit two triples. Which is more rare than hitting a home run. But he had like three of the balls that he hit were over like 104, I believe, off the bat. So, good read there. Just couldn't get it over out there in Arizona. But I'll give my top five for today, and then I'll give my home run pick. I will run through these, a little quicker so we can get some plays in before that 6:40 game being Miami and St. Louis, and then there's another one in there too. I'm just forgetting who it exactly is. But starting out, I like Ohtani. Ohtani's been hot, and I haven't even noticed. Let me see here. He has a hit in every game this month except for one. He does pitch today, but I'm not necessarily minding that. He's out in Colorado. Going against Gordon, I believe Tanner Gordon, hasn't been good at all since he came up to the major leagues. Does struggle with righties a little bit more than lefties, but given how hot Ohtani is right now, I don't. He also gives up power to lefties too, and he's giving up. He got a battering average of OBA of 296 to lefties, and it's like in the 400 for righties. But 296 isn't nothing to write home about with him. So I like this for Ohtani. I like this for a lot of those bats on that Dodgers lineup. You could take anyone in that lineup against this Gordon kid on today, but I'll take Ohtani while he's on the mound. Next up, I like Arraez, doubling back there. I had him on the top five yesterday. Going against Rupp of San Fran, just returned from injury. He also, I read that he's tied his highest workload, across his career, starting in 2022. I believe he is around 122 innings right now, maybe, on the year. Give or take, somewhere around that area. He's matched his highest workload. So you got somebody matching their highest workload. A divisional game here, pivotal game. As San Diego's, trying to keep in line with the Dodgers for the division. I like Arraez here. Someone that just puts the ball in play, doesn't strike out, doesn't walk either. Sometimes walks hurt you. It does mean they're seeing the ball well, but it hurts you, when they're getting walks. That's one less at bat that they get. So he doesn't walk here. And then you got Rupp, as I mentioned, the workload and he's coming off a 4-day rest here. So he's matching the workload and he's coming off a 4-day rest. I like, Arraez. I also like Tatis in that lineup, but he's not in my top five here. And then so I like Arraez to keep it going. He's also been hitting for power recently. Over the last 2 weeks, he has a 150 ISO against right-handed pitching. So he's hitting for power. He already was a contact hitter, but he's hitting for power too. So I like that as well. Next up, I like Yandy of Tampa Bay. Reliable. Was on a 9-game hitting streak before yesterday. They got blown out yesterday against the Yankees. Wasn't even close, so I believe they just took him out early. And so he didn't, get a chance to keep his streak going there. I think he might have had 2 plate appearances, so he didn't get a hit in those 2 plate appearances. But he's going against a rookie here, being Schitler of the Yankees. Decent, pitcher. Struggles with righties, quite a bit. Let me pull his thing up because I forgot exactly what his stats are. But he struggles with the long ball, I will say. So I'm also looking at Caminero in that lineup for a home run against him. It does give up a bunch of power to righties, but also is giving up an average. I was giving up a 259 average to righties, 279 to lefties, 344 on base percentage to righties. As I mentioned, Yandy was on a hitting streak prior to yesterday. Is seeing right-handed pitching quite well, north of 360, I believe, average over the course of the past 2 weeks. Someone that just puts the ball in play as well. As I mentioned with Arraez, some that puts the ball in play. You're going against a kid that struggled in his last home start, struggles with the long ball. You're going into Tampa Bay, this AAA ballpark. I'm sure that they want to, do something after yesterday. They got routed yesterday. I believe they can put some runs on the board against this kid. I don't see him shutting them out, going to Tampa Bay and just shutting them out. So I see a Yandy being a part of that as DH batting second in the lineup. Next up, I like Ward of the Angels going against Martinez of Cincinnati. Ward's, the 4 spot there for the Angels. They're on the ropes of getting swept against the Reds here. I don't see him getting swept by the Reds. And I don't see Martinez shutting them down. He struggles, greatly against righties, which if you know the Angels, that's what their lineup is full of. The first 5 out of 6 he's gonna see is righties, unless I saw Rengifo wasn't up in the lineup today, but for the most part, it's only Rengifo and Chanel that are lefties in that lineup. So he's gonna see 7 or 8 righties in that lineup, which he's struggling with. Just got shelled against Milwaukee last week at home. Goes on the road here. Short rest for him. Ward is also looking for his 30th homer. Hitting well against right-handed pitching. Hitting his last 6 out of 8 4 extra base hits. Right-handed hitters have a 185 ISO versus Martinez. Lastly, I like Edwards of Miami. Going against Paliante. Paliante's been bad over the course of his past. I want to say it's over his past 32 innings maybe. He has a 7.61 ERA, which is horrible. Goes on the road here against Miami, who's lost these last 2 against St. Louis. So you got a home team in the spot where you're on the ropes of getting swept. Edwards at the top of that lineup should get some at least 2 to 3 at bats versus Paliante. I know he pitched against them earlier this year. I will say that he did pitch well against them early on in the year, but that was at home, and this being in Miami. Surprising, Edwards, I was looking at his numbers. He has a 179 ISO versus right-handed pitching over the course of the past 14 days. That's surprising, for him. He's usually one of those contact hitters, and so when he's hitting for power, I feel like he's really seeing it, and he's really, barreling it up, being a contact hitter. So I like that for him. That is my top 5, being Ohtani, Arraez, Yandy, Ward, and then Edwards of Miami. And then for my home run, I'm doubling up here with Ward. As I mentioned, going for his 30th. Martinez struggles with righties. Home run given up in his last 3 out of 4. LA's in a spot where they could get swept. Don't think Cincy is that good, in my opinion, by any means. And he struggles against right-handed bats, which is going to see a whole bunch in this lineup. So he's going to have to face them. But that is my top 5. That is my homer. I will release my full list on my IG, being next to your name Amolytics. Follow that if you want to see that. But if you want to be notified when I post, please subscribe and turn on your notifications. Like, comment, share. Let's go.